A very warm welcome back, and we're in Woodmead today for the latest in the series of New Age business briefings brought to you by the SABC. And today we're talking about this historic decision to introduce 90% local content requirement on the 18 SABC radio channels that we have, and that's already come into play. So if you've been tuning into your favorite radio stations and you get a feeling that a lot of the music that you're hearing is local, well, that's what's happening. And to tell us what this means, to explore how significant it is for our local music industry, I have a panel of 4 people that I'm going to introduce you to. But at home, if you want to be part of this, at SABC News at SABC Morning Live is your Twitter handle, Morning Live SABC, and also hashtag TNA BizBrief. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. What's your experience? Are you enjoying this new sound of hearing more local? But let me introduce my panel to you. And the man who made the decision, the Chief Operations Officer at the SABC, Motsoeneng, thank you very much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Next to you, a man that has been fighting for the cause for a very long time, Laka, thank you very much indeed. A legend in your own lifetime.
Thanks for having me.
Next to you, a woman who's been in the industry, publicity, management, eventing, who's seen them all come and go over time. Bridgete, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
And somebody that you may have seen first as an actor, but he's also a producer, a director, and currently the president of CCIFSA, Kgoroge. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to you as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Motsoeneng, let's start with you. This is quite radical. 90% local content. It's a big move. Tell us about why you felt that this had to happen at this time.
Thank you very much, Peter. I'm also radical. It's in me. But what is more important for me is, when you go abroad, I listen to music abroad, I watch content, and people are proud about their own countries and their own artists and content generally. We are not Americans. We are Africans. There is this issue in South Africa here where we don't build our own role model. Our role model, they are not from here. They are somewhere, Britain, America. We need to change that mindset. And if you look at our own artists, you have Isaac Hayes. You have our own Isaac Hayes here. Hot Sticks is there. But, the Americans, they have built themselves as if they are better than anyone around the world. We need to make sure that we build South Africa as a better South Africa around the world and believe in ourselves. The problem, we as South Africans, we like to copy. I have been talking to the SABC team when I arrived in 2011. Everybody was saying we're going to benchmark with BBC. And then I asked the question, when is BBC going to benchmark with SABC? Use SABC. Because immediately when you allow that, which means you are not thinking, you don't have vision, you don't have strategy, you are just a person. And we can't have such leaders. So we need people who are thinkers. I always, if you are creative, a stone, you can turn a stone into a bread. It's how you create. The same with content. And I have been saying to our own colleagues, actually, because sometimes people believe that I'm mad, which is good. Sometimes you need to be mad so that you can deliver. When I came abroad, I remember in our own ESCO, I didn't take any problems or issues. I just directed the team. They said, how? I said, I'm not interested in how. your leaders, it should happen. And I'm glad it has happened today. And I congratulate the team that I work with for making sure that we put local content 90%. But also, it is not about the artist. We are going to revamp your SABC 3 first. If you look at SABC, all those movies, they are old, they grow up watching those movies, even today, some of them. But if you look in that industry of content, even if people are producing new content, you wait for multi-choice example to play those movies on their platform. For us, we are given after 2 years. And I said, we have filmmakers here in South Africa. Why can't we create our own soapies, our own movies? Because we have people in South Africa. And the painful issue is our own people, they give content outside the country. Because SABC itself, it has not been doing justice for local people in South Africa when we talk about content. And we have been saying to ourselves as colleagues, we need to turn the corner. And I think we have turned the corner. People are talking about 3 months. I don't know where's 3 months coming from. 90%. It's for life. And I need to explain where this 3 months comes from. It comes from Kaiser. And let me tell you, when Kaiser was explaining to media, they did not understand him. What he was referring to is quarterly, we review all programs. So we are going to review music. We are going to review our own programs within the organization. We review after 3 months, we revisit our performance. That is what is going to happen. 90% will be there.
Okay. So it's quite clear that a new era is upon us in terms of serving the South African artists, South African musicians, South African recording industry, and also, I guess, the South African filmmakers, and we'll hear a little bit more about that. But somebody who's been a champion of this cause for a long, long time is Don Laka himself, a producer, director, entrepreneur. But Don, you started this journey and you've seen it as far back as 1995. Tell us about how difficult it has been and why you've been passionate about this kind of a journey.
You know, I think this is the right platform to say, things. But first, I'd like to commend SABC, more especially COO, who people think that I've known him for many years. I only met him twice. In the first meeting and the final meeting of that resulted into this excitement and the landmark decisions he made. But Brakeza was my conduit into meeting him, and I called Brakeza after, I've been ridiculed for so many times trying to raise awareness. But Brakeza said, we will listen. This time we have management that listens. The events of 1995, obviously, were hitting against a brick wall. And a lot of people fell on the wayside. They say it takes one person to start a revolution, but it takes the whole community to win it. So it is won by the people of South Africa who have supported this and who have wanted this for many, many years. And the artists of South Africa, those who supported this cause and will continue to support this country has changed. And because the COO has made a decision that will impact on the lives of the people of South Africa, our children, and everyone who will be in this industry. And we welcome this move that this country has changed forever. That the Americans who dominated this now will see themselves fighting to have collaborations with South Africans for them to be played in this country.
We will unpack as the program unfolds exactly what this means for the local artists. But Bridgete, you've seen these artists come and go over time. You've seen international stars visit our shores and get, a lot of glory. How significant is this shift? I mean, I'm sure you must have been shocked when you heard.
We were. It's an exciting initiative as well. From a publicity and PR angle, I think it's incredible because I think we do need to celebrate local. I hope that the music industry is the start of what's going to then filter through to the rest of the creative industries as well. It is always a tight one when you see international artists headlining at festivals and at certain events when we actually have so much talent in South Africa. And I think it opens up so many doors from a PR and a promotional angle as well of what can happen with the artists and how artists will have accessibility with so many things now with the radio stations, and I hope it does filter over to television and that, and I'm sure it will. And I hope it also means from a PR angle sometimes it has been tougher for artists, local artists, to get interviews and to get coverage. And the very exciting thing now is I think that it's going to open up a lot of publicity doors and that artists will get interviews and hopefully we'll get more local coverage of live events and of our artists getting interviews and getting profiled as much as our international artists have been when they've come into South Africa. I also hope that it means that there'll be more venues that will be supporting local artists and that artists can go out and find new spaces to perform. And because of the airtime that they will be getting, that we're growing an audience that goes out and buys tickets and buys music and listens to our local music and our local content. So I'm very excited about it. I commend the SABC for doing it. So it's great.
I'm gonna explore with you a little bit later on how the industry has evolved and changed over time because I'm curious what this means now. I know 20 years ago it would have perhaps had a different impact than it does now, and we'll find out what those differences are. But Tony, we've been talking a lot about radio, but the fight of the musician is almost the same as the fight for the film producer and the actor and the directors and the producers.
Yeah, that's true. It actually filters through all our sectors, even within CCIFSA. But before that, let me applaud Hlaudi for what he has done. We will follow behind. You have given leadership, leader, and we must be proud of that. You must be applauded for that. And when we started looking into this, we thought of the needle time processes. As you have heard that about 2.1 billion of needle time is paid outside of South Africa. But what this means is that, like the gentleman was presenting this morning, that it's going to be a change. And that change is a positive transformation of economic transformation to our artists, and which will then push the record labels also to develop and put and invest in our local artists. This thing will trickle down into a lot of things. What Motsoeneng has done is way beyond what we can think of. We will then start even to say these artists, as they are sitting here, as you can see them, they are wearing designer labels from outside the country. As we are buying your local music, we will also drive you to say, start wearing local designs. So 90% that demofugate of what you are dressed in should be a local design. And basically what we're trying to say is let us embrace it throughout all our sectors in making sure that the local content translates into everything. And thank you, Motsoeneng, for setting that level.
All right, thank you very much indeed to Tony. And thank you very much to all of our panelists for starting this conversation. We have a lot to get through. I'm very keen to hear what your thoughts are at home. At Morning Live SABC is our Twitter handle. What are your thoughts? Has it been a pleasant experience for you in your car in the mornings nowadays as you tune into your local radio station? We know that the artists are thrilled to bits. They're excited because this is giving them a platform and a window to showcase their work. And we'd like to get your input as well. We have a lot of artists actually that I've recognized a few faces. Babsim Mhlangen is here. Arthur Mufagate is here. Who else? Super Hot Sticks Mabuza is here. Peter Ndoro is here. No, I'm just joking. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.